Hey, so I just finished watching Pieces of a Woman, and it's one of the best Netflix original films out there. It's definitely second in my ranking. First still being I'm Thinking of Ending Things, but super close. I give it a 9.25 out of 10. People said that after the intro, it gets kind of boring, and it's only really truly worth watching for that intro, but that Earth intro makes it like a good movie. I very much disagree with that sentiment. In my opinion, it only gets better after that amazing intro. Just seeing like the emotional fallout of what happens without spoiling anything is devastating both emotionally and from a character perspective, psychologically fascinating. Uh, Seeing the big bombastic Shia LaBeouf performance, which is easily the best of his career, and is sure to get Oscar nomination from him, and hopefully a win. I would hope. I swear that's an easy win for supporting actor. If Shia LaBeouf does not win that, I'll be very very sad. And then in the other half of that marriage, you've got Vanessa Kirby, who's got this very subdued performance for the first half of the movie, who then just comes out in the second half of the movie, just revealing just how equally broken she is as you watch the disintegration of a marriage. Uh, the Even though I wanted to give this movie like a 10 or a 9.5, the movie definitely does have problems that are apparent. uh, they feel like nitpicks in comparison to how much the movie does right, though. It's a very breezy movie to get through, despite being over 2 hours. It's like 2 hours, 10 minutes, roughly. Uh, and some threads seem to kind of go places without really an end point. Like, they don't really seem to go anywhere with much meaning, I mean. Uh, the one nitpick that stuck with me was that everyone seemed extremely flawed except for the main character. She just seemed kind of perfect. And there's nothing she did that was horribly wrong, which everyone else had something they did horribly wrong, like something truly monstrous that they did, especially Shia LaBeouf's character. His character was likable despite doing several very no things. Yeah, but yeah, him and the her mother were especially like difficult to love characters because of how much wrong they do. But I'm very satisfied with the ending. Uh, the other thing that was hard for me that I want to nitpick on is I have a ton of unanswered questions. There were scenes where they gave out information, but I wasn't sure what the information was because since I was watching it on A small screen, and B, the lighting was dark, and it didn't show very easily. I wasn't able to see exactly big reveals, so I think I missed something. So I'll definitely need to rewatch this one. For example, there's a scene where Vanessa Kirby is crying, looking at a photograph. Now I can guess what that photograph is. I'm pretty sure I know what the photograph is using context, but I don't know for sure what it is. There was another scene like that towards the beginning, but I can't remember what it was because I watched this movie in chunks. Which is fine because they had multiple like date markers, which I used as stopping points for when I divided up the movie because I couldn't watch it in all in one go like I had originally planned to. And if we're gonna go into spoiler discussion for the end of the movie, I thought it would be interesting if the ending wasn't actually real. Like, you would assume it's a time skip forward into the future where she had another daughter, mixing together the elements of, like, oh, my baby smelled like apples, and that's why I was holding the apples earlier in the movie. So then she had another daughter that liked apples, so she picked an apple in the apple tree, and it's a happy ending. But the thing I thought of that I couldn't get over thinking was, what if this is just a fantasy of her dead daughter? What if she had just grown up and this is just the life she wished she had? so it's more of a bittersweet ending than the happy one you think you've gotten. Because it seemed like such an abrupt fast forward that I didn't know what I was looking at first. So I couldn't get rid of that fear, like that it was more ambiguous than you'd think it is, and that was more of a downer of an ending than you would think. But I stayed through the credits, and there was no cutback to her crying or anything. So I don't know. Maybe it's ambiguous, maybe isn't. Maybe I'm just reading too much into things. I don't know. I'd be curious to see what you guys' thoughts are. But yeah, fantastic movie. Cinematography is great. I loved all the long shots in the movie. It's very emotionally impactful. Super strong performances. Definitely the first great film of 2021, and it's gonna be hard to beat this one.